So as it stands right now, we're about 10 days away from the AMC proxy vote that will take place, as most of you know, on March 14th of 2023. I put in tonight's thumbnail 5 key positive takeaways from the AMC earnings call with ARON. Now, I want to make sure that I emphasize this. Please don't make any financial decisions tomorrow when you go into your brokerage account based off the information relayed to you here today. I'm simply going to bring out 5 facts that I pulled from the earnings call that I thought were bullish for AMC. And I don't want to mislead anyone into thinking that the short squeeze is imminent, or we're about to have a massive run up, or there are no more shares to be located, or there's 5 billion synthetics out there. We're going to talk about 5 things that are facts that were said in the earnings call that I think are bullish for this company going forward. And with this information, hopefully it will help you to make an informed decision how you will vote in the next 2 weeks. So we're going to talk about that. There's a couple other subjects I want to touch on. I said we were going to go more in depth into Walmart and the popcorn. I hope we're going to have time for that tonight. But before we do any of that and get way too far ahead of ourselves,
cue the speeder.
This is the way.
good afternoon, beautiful people. Guys, what's going on? It is February. It is March 5th, 2023, Sunday afternoon, and we are talking about AMC, the proxy vote. 5 key takeaways. Really quickly, I just want to say, if your name popped up in the intro for financially supporting this channel for almost the last 2 years now, I just want to tell you I am indebted to you. I appreciate you guys keeping me independent. Our mainstream media is corporate and has been bought. And I think this platform is important to keep alive for the free flow of information, even if, as an AMC shareholder, it could be a little biased. All right, but let's jump right into tonight's subject matter. 5 key takeaways from the earnings call. What I thought were the most bullish things that ARON conveyed to his shareholders. All right, first and foremost, let's talk about box office revenue. The numbers since 2019, since the pandemic, the recovery, and how we are faring so far. Now, we know we are up to $7.4 billion in 2022, but that is substantially down from the 2019 pre-pandemic numbers of 11.4. But I think there's a very good reason for that. 2019 was sort of an anomaly, and I think you got to keep that in the back of your mind. If you look at the slate of releases in 2019, it was pretty unprecedented. We had maybe a half dozen to 10 or more blockbusters, films grossing over $500 million in 2019. It was a big year for Hollywood. Unfortunately, that led right into the pandemic, and here we are. But to see the numbers going up, especially the numbers jumping up as they have year over year, I think is positive, bullish news. Now, I think the fact that Q4 outperformed the market estimates and that the box office revenue grew 44% from last year is positive, bullish news. If we were going in the other direction, I would say that AMC is in trouble. Now, another point that ARON made during the call was how well AMC is outperforming all of its competitors. We are far from declaring bankruptcy right now, where there are 2 major competitors. Cineworld already had to file, and CINEMARK could be in trouble as well. And there's a possibility in the future some of these theaters might have to close down locations that AMC could swoop up if they are performing extremely well. Right now, I don't think is the time with how in debt we are, but in the future, it's going to create a lot of opportunity for growth. Number 4, AMC has been able to raise some cash and reduce its debt load at discounted prices. In the last 12 months, we've raised about $314 million in gross proceeds, and we've reduced the debt by almost $400 million. which I find to be bullish. And number 5, which I think might be some of the more bullish news that we've gotten in the last 6 months, was the announcement of the partnership with a major retailer, that being Walmart, to exclusively carry their popcorn products in over 2,600 stores by mid-April. I don't know how you could possibly say that isn't bullish news. As we talked about in the last video, it's a $1.8 billion industry in the US alone. And there was some talks during the earnings call about expanding into other places such as Canada and Europe possibly. Again, bullish in my opinion. So those are my top 5 positive takeaways from the earnings call. Again, I just want to say this as simply as possible. Most of this information is discussing and concerning the long-term effectiveness of the company, keeping up with the Joneses, and innovating the theater industry in order to bring in more revenue for AMC. It does not mean that we are about to squeeze. On the other hand, as we get closer to the proxy vote, it also doesn't mean that all this information is not going to help us to squeeze. And God knows I would like that to happen before this proxy vote even comes across the table. And I just want to wrap up this earnings call by saying that all of you guys out there are extremely smart. You know what's going on. You know where your money is invested right now, how this could play out. We know what's going on behind the scenes. So I hope you guys all, over the next 9 days, really take your time and think hard about the way you want to vote on this. Because the future of the company and the future of your portfolio, possibly, depending on how many shares you have, could be greatly impacted by this vote. So make sure it's not something you rush, or don't just take anyone on YouTube or Reddit or Twitter's word for it. You guys vote what's best for you and your future, for your family. Now, as I was researching this subject matter, I came across this little news piece from Portland, Oregon, and I don't think it's going to have any major impact on AMC or the proxy vote or popcorn or anything like that, but it is something I want to alert you guys to. Watch.
Doors are closing at the only 2 Portland Walmarts, and hundreds of customers are left finding a new place to shop.
Fox 12's Connor McCarthy spoke to some of those customers and joins us live now in Southeast Portland to tell us how this will impact how many low-income Portlanders, rather.
Well, Pete and Riel, this Walmart location here on Southeast 82nd Avenue is one of 2 Portland locations that will be closing. The other is in North Portland on Hayden Meadows Drive. Now, I spoke to customers at both locations, and they say the closing of these Walmarts will have a huge impact on their neighborhoods. It's a closure that will impact hundreds of Portlanders. Amanda Paul is a regular shopper at the Walmart on Southeast 82nd. She relies on the store's affordable prices to keep her family well stocked.
Safeway is the go-to store if I have to, but that's 3 times the prices that I would spend here. So, you know, what are we going to do? You're going to have to go further? Well, then you got gas money, so you might as well just pay for it at Safeway at this point.
Walmart says they're closing both Portland locations because they were not meeting financial expectations. But customers wonder if it's shoplifters impacting the store's bottom line.
We got to resolve the shoplifting one way or another. If that is simply the problem, it's got to stop.
It's not just
now, don't let the news media bullshit you. The reason why these 2 stores are closing is because they have decided in some of these neighborhoods and counties that the DAs there are not going to prosecute retail theft anymore. And the companies have said, okay, that's fine. We're just going to pull our stores then. And that disadvantages all of the poor people who live in these areas, who rely on cheaper prices to help them feed their families. And it's absolutely disgusting. And it's something I want to address in the future in a whole nother video. We're not going to have time to get into it today, but I will certainly come and revisit this subject matter in the near future. All right, guys, I'm going to cut it there for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you got some information out of this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. As always, thank you for all the likes, the views, the comments, my new subscribers, my OGs. I appreciate each and every one of you. We are here to break the wheel. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.